Hi everyone, it's Sandy Bacus here. My channel name is Sandy B Stitcher, and this is a channel about cross stitch. I welcome you. I'm glad everybody could be here to have a little visit with me today. I don't know how long this one's going to be. I do have a little story to tell you, and I have some cross stitch whips to show you, and I have my crochet whip to show you, and just a little bit of chat and a chart, and then that should pretty much wrap it up. So today is Sunday, December 1st. It's hard to believe that we're already at the beginning of December. We're having a beautiful day today. I think they said it's going to be up in the low 50s. It was very cloudy and rainy first thing this morning, but now the sun is shining, so it's looking pretty good outside. So it may turn out to be a very beautiful day. I've been trying to get a few things out for Christmas. I managed to get my little tree up. I have just a little tabletop tree, and I don't ever take the ornaments off of it. Just pick it up and carry it upstairs and put a great big garbage bag over the top of it. So it's really easy to get it out again for the next Christmas. That works wonderfully. So I did have to rearrange a few things in my living room here, but I did get it up. And so over the next week, I hope to continue to bring out some things to decorate for Christmas. Not a big decorator, but I do have some things that I like to bring out and see. Okay, let's see, where are we at? First of all, Clotheslined Crafts Carolyn. You won a chart a couple of weeks ago, or a few weeks ago, and it was the one with the lighthouse and the little bunnies. And you did comment and say that you had sent me an email, but I commented back and said I never got the email. And then I commented again, and I still haven't seen anything. So I don't know what's going on with that, but I'm going to hold on to this for another till the next video. If I haven't heard from you at all, then I guess I'll try to give this away to someone else. I know you were excited about getting this. You said something about really wanting the lighthouse. So please, it's sandybstitcher@gmail.com, or you can PM me on Instagram, or if you're on Facebook Messenger, you can send me a message on Messenger to Sandy Smith Bacus, and that way I should get it. Maybe send all of those, and then I'll end up getting it. I did check my spam folder and I didn't see anything, but I really would like to be able to send this to you. So there's that. And then I have some charts that I still haven't sent out. And I have them over here, and I'm going to get those out. Lana, I need your address at your assisted living to be able to send you the cow. So please send that on to me. And Lana recently celebrated, her and her husband celebrated their 60th wedding anniversary. Isn't that cool? 60 years together. And so happy anniversary to you. I've sent those wishes to you on some other mediums, but wanted to say that. Bob and I had our 41st last week, and we had a really nice one. We went out and had a nice dinner. Actually, we went out for lunch, had a nice lunch, and then the next day was Thanksgiving, and we went to my brother's mother-in-law's, and unfortunately, Lori wasn't there. Lori's been in the hospital, and I talked to my brother last night, and she was still there. She has been in the hospital since, I believe it was last Sunday. She was having a lot of trouble breathing. She had gotten she has lung cancer, and she's had it for quite a while, and she's on oxygen 24/7. And she had gotten a virus of some kind, and she waited too long. She was having trouble breathing and she didn't go in, and she put it off and put it off. And so by the time that they called the squad, I think it was last Sunday night, she was really in bad shape. And so they told her that if she would have come in, maybe 3 days earlier, they probably would have been able to treat her and send her home. But by that time, she was so weak that they admitted her, and they have been giving her medications, and they've been giving her breathing treatments and trying to build her strength back up. And so as of last night, she was still in the hospital. So she missed Thanksgiving dinner, but she really did need to be by herself and rest. And hopefully she'll be coming home soon if she is not home today. I don't like to call and bug my brother too much, but I've been calling about every other day and seeing, how things are going. So if you are a praying person, prayers for Lori would be appreciated. And if you're not a praying person, just send some good thoughts up. Thank you. Okay, now back to the charts. I'm getting those out of the way first here. Last time I showed you the Christmas tree. And the winner of the Christmas tree is Felice Amadio. So Felice, I'm not sure whether I have your address or not. If not, I suppose I could real quick go over here and look in my address book that I bought to try to keep track of all of your addresses. Let me look here really quick. All right, I don't see it in here. Doesn't mean that it wasn't in my email, but Felice, could you send me an email to sandybstitcher@gmail.com with your address, and then I will, when I'm sending out these other charts, I'll get yours sent out to you. Okay, so while we're doing those, why don't we go ahead and show you the chart for the next time. And this one, you can't quite see all of it, but I think you'll get the idea. It's another Christmassy one, and it's some Santas from some different places. And it's a sampler. It has some numbers on it and some letters. I don't know if it says where, of course, the one with the U.S. flag, that's the United States Santa. I don't know. Santas of Fable and Fantasy is the name of this. It takes an awful lot of different colors of floss. And it does use some, let's see, it's got Lazy Daisy stitch and some French knots. And it does, the sun just kind of went around the corner there, came back. It has some crying it called for some couching. It does call for a gold star button, but you wouldn't have to have that button in there. Some blended stitching, but it's really a beautiful chart. So, and let's see if it says what the size is here. It looks like it might be kind of large, but well, it says if you use 14 count, I don't see, here it's stitch count, 136 high by 179 wide. So it's a nice size, not too big, not too small. If you did it on 14 count Aida, it would be 9 3/4 inches high by 12 7/8 inches wide. So let me show that to you one more time. And it's just the edge was right in the middle of the magazine page there, so that one got kind of cut off, but it's just the border, just like it is over here. If you are interested in getting this sent to you anywhere in the world, free of charge, just tell me you would like to stitch the Santas. Please be a subscriber. Please like the video. Please be over 18 so that you can send me your address. And don't say giveaway or any of those words that the trolls would pick up on. We want this to go to somebody who actually wants to stitch it. All right, so that takes care of that. Now I'll show you what I've been stitching on. And I stitched just a little bit on Route 66. Not too much. I will be keeping this one out and continuing on this a little bit. And where I worked this time was I did a little bit of stitching starting up into this part right here. This VW bust is almost done. There's a little bit of back stitching over here yet. Pardon my coughing. I've still got that sinus cough. And so I decided just to come out and start over this way and see if I can get that part across there done. So that's Route 66. This is a Vickery collection design, and I'm stitching this on 14 count. I think it's oatmeal, but I'm not absolutely positively sure on that. I know it's stiff. I have a hard time with the needle going in and out of the holes. It just wants to drag like crazy. So the stitching on this goes really, really slowly, unlike some of the other fabrics that I have. Okay, the next one that I had been working on and I continued on was my anniversary sampler, and that's Love Never Fails by Barbara Anna Designs. And I did quite a bit on this, I think. Let's see, get it right side up here. Okay, and if you saw this the last time, you'll know that I had been working on her arm and her sleeve, and I went down into the dress some more and filled in. And I have some things that need to be filled in here and here and right in here. But this dress goes down quite a ways. And so, you know, I got some stitches in on it. I will continue to work on this throughout the next year, off and on. And this material is 14 count, and it is heroic. I think it's Picture This Plus. I don't know if you can see all those little mottled colors in there. This is a wonderful fabric. I just love this. The needle just glides in and out, and it's very easy to stitch on. So when I'm working on that one, those stitches go right in. And you know, you're working quite a bit with the same color, so that always helps too. And then we have my Confetti Heavy Artisy Shades of Summer. And again, this is the one that I probably spent the most time on. In fact, for probably, the last 3 or 4 days, I haven't stitched on anything but this. I'm closing in on a page finish. And so what I wanted to do, at least I'm hoping that I can do, is I want to finish this page before the end of the month. And then what I wanted to do, I've got some threads hanging in a couple of spots. I wanted to go to those spots, put those threads in, and then this one I will probably put away for a while because at the beginning of January I want to bring out Mini Mount Cabin Home, which is my Haid, and I don't work on the 2 of these at the same time, and I want to try to get some work done on some other ones. So here's where I am. I'll show you the whole thing. Let's see, I can't see what you're seeing. There, am I getting it? I want to get it close enough so that you can actually see it, but not block any of it out. There, I think that's pretty good. And where I've been working is right up here. And this is the page that I've been working on. And I've got just some fill in here to do, and then that page will be done. And then I have some threads hanging right down here, and I want to get those stitched in. And then over here, I have just a couple of threads hanging right up here, and I want to stitch those in. And then I think I will put this away and bring out Mini Mount Cabin Home, but I won't start working on that one until after January 1st, or on January 1st, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. So this one is a couple years old now, and it's coming along. At that page finish, that's like that corner that comes down there, that's like the middle of the project. So I don't know if I want to say I'm halfway, but I'm getting there. Okay, so that is my stitching that I have done. And then I have my crochet whip, and I will pull that out here. And this is my throw that I am doing, and I have the and remember, I showed you this the last time. It was coming through as lavender or purple or something, and it's actually pink. And so I don't know whether it's going to come through the right way this time or not. No, it wants to be lavender on the screen. I don't know if I get it up really, really close. Does that change? No. If I bring it back far away, no, it wants to be lavender, but it's not. That is so strange. But anyways, here's where I've gotten to, and I haven't worked on it a whole lot, but I've gotten a few little stitches in it here and there. So I'm going to continue to keep working on that and put my hook back in here. And that's all my whips. So I hope everybody had a really good Thanksgiving holiday. And now I wanted to tell you a little story. Since it's the beginning of Advent, and Advent started today, and we're leading up till Christmas, I wanted to tell you a story. And this story has to do with a member of my family. And over the next few weeks, as we lead up to Christmas, I'm going to try to have a little heartwarming story for you every week, or every time I record. It probably won't be every week. But this story, and I looked and I looked. I had this written down, and because I had published this on Facebook several years ago, and I had it written down and I couldn't find it. So I'm just going to try to go from my memory now and hope that I don't forget any of the parts that are really important. If you have been here for a while, I may have told this story previously. I can't remember. I can't remember how many years ago it was that this happened, so it could have been prior to my doing these videos. And I also, we have a God Sightings booklet that is done every Easter for Lent, and I had written it in there, and that's where I was trying to find it, but I couldn't locate it. So anyways, my mother was married before to a man before she was married to my father, and she had a daughter, and her name was Catherine. And Catherine was born 12 years before I was, so she was 12 years older than me. And I really don't want to mess this story up, so just bear with me if I just sit here and kind of stare into space for a minute, because I'll be trying to remember some of the details. Anyways, Catherine, when my parents met and got married, Catherine lived with them. But when I was probably around 4 years old and Catherine would have been about 16, She went out west to Wyoming to live with my mother's mother, my grandmother. My father had some issues with caring for someone else's child, unfortunately. And so she went out there and lived. And after a few years, she had a child. And her name was Jenny. And Jenny, if I remember correctly, Jenny is about 8 years younger than I am, give or take, because I can't remember exactly. And then at some point, Jenny came to live with us here in Ohio for a while, and then her mother came back here and had another daughter, Merlinda, and I don't want to go into too many details. There was some rough living, some rough life that happened during those years for all of them. And eventually, Merlinda and Jenny went back out west to live with their mom. And I believe at that time they were in the Denver, Colorado area, because that was where my half-sister had kind of made her home base. In the years since then, my half-sister passed away. She had lung cancer. And also Merlinda passed away at a young age. And but Jenny was still alive. And Jenny, in the meantime, had a son named Tristan. Very, very nice young fellow. I met him quite a few years ago when my half-sister brought him here for a vacation and a visit to see all of us. And he worked really, really hard. He put himself through college and got a bachelor's degree. And he's a really nice, upstanding, young, very nice looking young man. Okay. And he lives in Denver, Colorado. And, but anyways, Jenny, through the life that she had been living and so forth, and probably something in her genes, she had ended up being schizophrenic. I think that's what it was. And there was medication, but she kept not taking her medication. And I've heard that so many times from people that have to take that type of medication, that it apparently, from what I understand, it dulls your senses to the point where you feel like you're not really living. And if I got that wrong, I thoroughly apologize, but that's what I'm remembering right now. Because I certainly don't want to offend anyone. So anyways, she would go off of her meds. And when she would go off of her meds, she'd kind of disappear out onto the streets. And when my half-sister was alive, she wouldn't know where she was. And sometimes she'd be gone for long periods of time, and then she'd come back, and then she'd disappear again. And so Tristan, after my half-sister had passed away, Jenny had been gone for a long time. In fact, at that time, she didn't even know that her mom had passed away. And Tristan had told me that he had heard that at one point that she was living down in Texas, but he didn't really know where she was. And so what happened is that, and now I'm getting to the real heart of the story, and I'm sorry that it took me so long to build up the background to get there. But several years ago, and my brain doesn't remember exactly how many years ago it was, we had a Christmas miracle. And that Christmas miracle is that down in Florida, and I believe it was in the Tampa area, there was a TV station down there that was doing some work with going out onto the streets and talking to some of the homeless people. And the one reporter or whatever she was, I don't know if she was a reporter or a photographer or what she was, but anyways, she started talking to a woman down there. And in talking to her, this woman said, well, I have a son that lives in Colorado. And so the reporter started doing some checking. And lo and behold, the homeless woman living on the streets in Tampa was Jenny. And this reporter asked questions and then did some follow-up and some checking, and she was able to find Tristan in Denver. And she notified him that his mother was living on the streets in Tampa. And he arranged to get on a plane and go to Tampa, and they televised down there in Florida. And I had a tape of this at one point. I've changed computers a couple times, so I don't know whether I still have it anywhere, but I did have it, of the homecoming where Tristan walked up there and saw his mom, and they hugged, and he got her, talked to her, and he got her, oh, you're going to hear a loud siren right in the middle of my story here. It's the first day of the month, and it's 12 o'clock noon, and the tornado sirens go off on the first day of the month at 12 noon. So that's what, when you hear that sound, that's what that is. Everything's okay. So anyways, he talked to her. He asked her, did she want to get cleaned up? Did she want to come back with him? Did she want to go back to Denver? And he took her back. He got her the help that she needed. He got her clothes, he got her cleaned up and everything, and got her into a living situation. He visits with her quite often. And actually, just a few months ago, he sent me a text message and he said, would you want to talk to my mom? She lived with us when we were kids, and she was probably, around first grade, kindergarten, and I was a teenager at the time. And I said, yes, I would love to. And so he said, well, the next time that I have her over here and things are going well, he said, I will call. So then just a few days later, I got a text message and he said, is it okay to call now? And I said, yes. And he called and I talked to her. And I told her that I was doing these videos. And so, while I was talking to her on the phone, Tristan was looking up YouTube and finding my channel. And then she got off the phone with me and she started watching it. And Jenny, if you're watching now, I love you. And I know that I probably won't see you because I don't fly, and Denver, Colorado is a long way from Northern Ohio, but I do love you. I love Tristan, and I wish you a Merry, Merry Christmas. And that's my story for this time. And I know it was pretty personal and everything, but I just felt it was something I wanted to share, and hope that Jenny was listening and that she would hear this and know that we all here in Ohio, we all care for both you and Tristan and Tristan's boys. So on that note, and just as the siren winds down, I'm going to let you all go and tell you that I'll be back maybe in 10 days or so. trying to do a lot of things around here, as I told you before. Oh, and I did have to make another trip to the emergency room with Bob last weekend. He had taken a fall down in the basement, and he thought he had a broken rib, and the pain was getting worse instead of getting better. So took him into the ER, but his rib wasn't broken. It was just a bad contusion. And my understanding is that those rib contusions can hurt just as bad as if you did break a rib. So he's been taking some naproxen, and I think he's starting to feel a little bit better, but they said it's going to take a long time to heal. So on that note, I'm going to let y'all go and send my love and my hugs out to everybody. Take care. Happy stitching, and I will see you the next time. Bye.